I was born.
Sit there.
I was born in a little town in Virginia to an average religious family in 1887. My father, he was a country physician. My mother, she would dress me in the same manner in my youth as she did my two sisters, and I wore curls until I was 6 years of age. It wasn't until I started schooling, well, that's how I lost my curls. I remember one time when I was playing basketball in the schoolyard with some of the other boys. I accidentally tripped this kid named Willie Jones. Now, Willie Jones was much bigger than me, and, well, he didn't like it at all. I remember he picked up that basketball and he threw it at me and he hit me right in the face. And the other kids, they tried to encourage me to fight him, but I just ran away from the conflict. You know, we used to live a few doors down from the First Baptist Church, and when they would have funerals, I would very often find myself asking my mother whether that person was going to heaven or hell.
James, I want you to make sure you go to church every Sunday and say your prayers. And remember, there's always a God looking down on you who will punish you for your sins. Always respect women. God gave them to you as a gift. You must appreciate them at all times. Well, marriage, love, and relations can only come with love, respect, and marriage.
My mother had become a recent convert, and as you can see, she was a religious fanatic, which was her main neurotic manifestation. You see, she was very possessive of her children, and she had this puritanical view on everything from sex relations to motherhood to womanhood overall. Well, it wasn't until I got older that I realized the toll that it took on me in my relationship with women. My father, he was this very proper and educated doctor who would occasionally take a sip of warm toddy and then he would harmlessly pass the remainder of what was in the glass to me. Now, I never saw my father drunk, but I did see him take a shot in the morning and again in the evening. You see, my father had come down to Virginia to work his way through school. And he had come to resent what he called those Southern crackers. And he came to resent them so much that he came to resent them so much that he didn't even attend his own mother's funeral. You see, my father had made a promise to himself that he would never set foot in the Deep South again, and by God, he did not.
Well, you know, when James was in high school, I got him a medical release certificate so that he would not have to join the cadet corps. Oh, I'm not a pacifist, you understand. I just thought that in the event of another war, it might have some bearing on him not joining up. I didn't want him to end up like my father. Lord knows, my father was a violent man.
I graduated from high school and I attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. I don't think that I suffered much from the racial situation because I was born into it and, well, that's all I knew. You see, a man wasn't mistreated, although if he was, well, he could only resent it. Upon graduation, I became a physician, much like my father. So, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like myself lately. Tired, lightheaded.
Well, you know, it sounds like symptoms of a elevated blood pressure, which could lead to a cardiac arrest. That's what I'll do. I'm going to write you a prescription for some medicine. And I'm going to put you on a strict diet and exercise regimen.
You know, you sure are a spitting image of your father.
You think so, huh? Well, I sure wish I had his know-how.
Oh, you're doing fine. That's why I keep coming back. I'm sure he'll be real proud of you.
Well, you know, that is nice to hear. That's nice of you to hear, but you need to run and get that prescription filled at your apothecary before it closes. Now, you hear?
Yes, sir, doctor.
It's gone now.
Yes, sir, doctor. Will do, doctor. What you got?
Like I said, my father had come out of the deep south and he had suffered a great deal down there. He wanted the very best for me, and nothing less than becoming a doctor would suffice. Now, understand this. I always felt that I was medically inclined, and that's why I did surgery, because it's hands-on and it's something you can see. But in my postgraduate days, and even in my internship, I would find myself sitting at the bedside doing a process of elimination, which, well, ultimately would just leave me guessing. That wasn't the way of my father. No, sir, not with him. You see, with him, it was more of a gift. How do you say it? Intuitive diagnosis, if you will. Later on, my father would build a successful mail order business because, believe it or not, back in those days, there wasn't a lot of money to be made in medicine. Over the years, my father also would purchase a restaurant, which he figured would help take up some of my spare time. And that's where I met Vi. You see, we had been dating for about 5 or 6 weeks. And on this one particular evening, she came into the restaurant for dinner, and to get rid of me, she told me that she was going to that she was going to the movies with a friend.
Good evening, James.
Good evening, Vi. It's nice to see you again. You look lovely.
Why, thank you, James. It's nice to see you again as well.
Can you sit?
I won't be long ago as I'm going to the movies this evening with a friend.
Oh, really? With who?
Oh, never be mine. Just a friend, Percy Atwell.
Percy Atwell. Isn't she the town librarian?
Yes, well, yes, she is.
You know, I was in there the other day checking out a book of cardiology for one of my patients.
Is that right?
You sure you can't stay for a spell, Vi?
Oh, no, I must be running along. I don't want to keep Percy waiting.
Very well. Enjoy the picture show.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Sometime later, a friend of mine, a druggist from across the street, he came into the restaurant.
What do you think, James? I just saw your girlfriend having a heck of a time downtown with a friend of hers. You know about that?
Yeah, she came in earlier, but you know what? I didn't pay her any mind. I was busy, so.
Okay. You say so.
I foolishly became disturbed by the whole thing, and, well, I went out and got drunk. That was the first time in my life I've ever been drunk in my life. I didn't start drinking periodically, pathologically, I mean, until, say, the late 1920s. By that time, I had lost all my property except for the place where me and Vi were living. Things had gone from bad to worse.
What's happening to you, James? What's wrong?
Oh, it's nothing, dear. I just haven't been feeling well lately.
Well, where are all these bottles coming from?
Maybe your brother knows about those bottles. I don't know anything about that. Did you ask him? I don't know anything about those bottles.
Oh, really? Well, we'll just have to see about that then. I'll talk to him all about it tomorrow. We'll see who's really telling the truth.
I needed a drink. I needed a drink and I wanted a drink. And I looked forward to the weekend so I'd be able to drink as much as I wanted. You see, I figured that that time was my time, and that with no interference from family or work, I should be allowed to drink as much as I please. A strange thing happened on a Friday night in 1935. You see, a patient of my father, he had come in on behalf of his wife who was ill. Now, this particular patient, he owed me some money from a prescription, which I had filled for him earlier.
Hey, Jim. Look, I owe you for that prescription that I filled for my wife last night.
No, you don't, Mom, because I didn't write you a prescription last night.
But Jim, you did give me a prescription for my ill wife last night, and I went ahead and had it filled at the apothecary.
Fear had overcome me because for the life of me, I could not remember writing this prescription. That's when it dawned on me that this must have been my first blackout from drinking. I decided that when I got home, I would tell Vi about the incident. Something has to be done. I'm at my wit's end. Not only am I endangering the lives of myself and my livelihood, but now I'm endangering the lives of my patients as well.
What do you mean? What on earth have you done now?
I wrote a prescription for a patient last night, and for the life of me, I cannot remember anything. What if I prescribed the wrong medicine? Or if I prescribed the wrong dosage or a double dosage? What if I wrote a prescription that had proven to be lethal? Then where would I be?
My God, James, you're right. You could have killed someone. I'm glad you realize now before it's too late. But perhaps you should go see someone.
You know what? It's a good idea. That's exactly what I'll do. I'll go see a psychiatrist because maybe this is just a disease of the mind. Or maybe I can see a minister because maybe it's some type of spiritual malady.
Why don't you try both? It can't hurt, I suppose. I'll be waiting here, though, for the results. Good luck, dear.
It was at that moment that I realized I needed help. So I decided that my first visit would be to a psychiatrist.
I got a call from another doctor who thought that Jim had a problem with the drink. I haven't had much practice in this kind of patient, but I was willing to try.
Doctor, I think I have a drinking problem and I can't seem to stop. Can you help me?
Oh, yes, of course. Let's just continue sitting right there and let's just talk about it. When did this drinking problem of yours begin?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I've always got in trouble because of my drinking. Well, just the other day,
You know what? Let's just start at the beginning. Tell me about your childhood. What was your relationship like with your mother?
I left his office hours later, exasperated and convinced that this guy couldn't help me. As a matter of fact, I think he was a quack.
I had not seen or heard from James in quite some time, so I was quite surprised when I heard he had come calling, and even more quite surprised when I learned why he had come calling.
Minister, I need your help, some divine intervention if you will. You see, I can't seem to stop drinking no matter how hard I try. Can you help me, please?
Well, first of all, James, praise God that you come to knock on these doors and seek the Lord. I've not heard from you in quite some time, or if at all, maybe we found a talk with you. When you turn your back on the Lord, James, look, bad things can begin to befall you, and I believe your drinking is one of those things. You must seek the Lord in all you do, James, and then and only then can He begin to lift the obsession of the drink from you.
This reminded me of the vengeful God that my mother was talking about. Tell me, how can a vengeful God be a loving God? Well, this was not the solution that I needed. So I decided that the problem was not with me. You see, I had spoken to a psychiatrist, and I spoke to a minister, and the problem wasn't with me at all. No, you see, the problem was Washington, D.C. So I figured that I would head south to North Carolina to a dry county where I couldn't drink and nobody else would drink around me. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'll do. This would be the perfect place for me to start over, sober this time.
Hey, fella.
Hey,
You looking for a drink?
what are you talking to me?
You should look like you could use one. You're in the right place. They got some good whiskey here.
How did you know that I needed a drink?
Man, that gleam in your eyes, it says, I'm thirsty.
You're sharp, friend. My name is Jim from up north. What's your name?
I'm fast, but you can call me Teddy. But listen, let me buy you the first drink, then.
Well, I tell you what, Teddy, if you buy the first drink, then I have to buy the second one.
Hey, you're on, Jim. Cheers.
It didn't take long, about 6 months to be exact, and well, I was right back at it again. Only this time, things have went from bad to much worse. I was in trouble at my job, and my boss, he had told me that I need to cut back on my drinking. As a matter of fact, that's not what he said. What he told me was that he couldn't keep me on because of my drinking, and that he would have to let me go.
Jim, you used to be a good worker, someone we could rely on, but now you become sloppy and irresponsible. And we're going to have to let you go.
What are you talking about? I have mouths to feed at home. You have to give me another chance.
After no such thing. I've already given you 3 tries, and each time you failed me. I have no choice. I can't have a drunk around here operating heavy machinery. It's just not safe.
Drunk? What do you call it a drunk? Well, not me. Sometime later, I ended up going to the doctor. I wasn't feeling too well.
James, you've had a stomach privilege due to your excessive use of alcohol. You've had to admit you until such time as you are fully recovered. And under the circumstances, I recommend that you never drink again.
What are you saying, doctor?
What I'm saying is, if you continue drinking, the chances of survival are slim and none. And I suggest you knock it off immediately.
Doctor, it's not that easy. I've tried, but I can't live without it. I need that drink to get me through the day and the night sometimes.
James, let me put it plain. The next time you think about taking a drink, you better be planning your funeral. That's all I can say about it.
I guess I have to quit on my own.
Mr. James, you can do this. You can do this, James. Just give it the old college try. Come on, you got this.
I was at my wit's end. I lost my job, and my health was starting to deteriorate because of the alcohol. I had nowhere to go, so I returned back home to buy. Please, just take me back. I promise I'll stop drinking. I'll take care of you and the girls. Please, just give me another chance.
I don't think you can stop drinking, James. As a matter of fact, I don't think you want to stop. You're in trouble at work. And you've even been to a hospital because of your drinking, and you still won't stop. You've seen a psychiatrist and the minister and said neither of them can help you. What else left, James? What else is left? Why can't you stop drinking? What's wrong with you?
You don't think I can stop drinking? You don't think I want to stop drinking? You don't think I try to stop drinking?
No, you don't, mister. I will not stand for that in this house. You brute, I will have you removed. I will go down to see the judge this instance and have you removed from this residence at once. James, don't think I want to do it. See, I wasted no time. Petitioned the court right away, just like I said I would. My mother taught me never let a man disrespect you in such a way.
Hello, Mrs. S. I understand you have a petition before the court today.
Thank you, Your Honor. My husband has been drunk on many occasions and has struck me more than once. I cannot and will not live and tolerate such abominable behavior, nor expose my children to it as well.
I have no defense. Everything that my wife has said to me is true. I'm a drunkard, and she's tried to help me, but she shouldn't have to tolerate my behavior.
I have to agree with you, James, and I believe your wife's testimony here today. I believe that she nor the children should have to be assaulted by you any further. I hereby remove you from your place of residence. Do you need help finding a new residence, James?
No, Your Honor. I can stay with my mother until I get my drinking under control and I can return back to my residence.
Very well. I hereby order you separated until there's some behavior in the changes of the defendant, or until the plaintiff, and only the plaintiff, agrees that you may return to the Maryland residence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I became resentful after my court appearance. And when I became resentful, I usually went out and got drunk, which is exactly what I did. And then I accidentally bumped into my wife.
Hey, Ma. Good, I missed you.
Hello, James. Are you drunk again? I smell liquor on your breath.
Oh, me? Drunk? No, not me. It's not this time of day. What's that you got in your head?
Oh, these. Oh, never you mind. obviously not a good time considering you're drunk again.
Drunk? Drunk? What? Why would you accuse me of such a thing? Why do you insist on saying such nonsense, woman?
No, you don't. Don't turn this on me. I might as well tell you now since you're going to find out soon enough. These are divorce papers that I was going to deliver to you. However, due to your mind being all mumbled up with alcohol, I'll have to forego the process for a later date.
Divorce papers? Talk to you!
Help! Please! Please! Somebody!
Here, ma'am.
Please!
I can help you. Come on.
My shoulder. Please.
I got you. It's gonna be okay. I got a call from the station about a domestic disturbance at their corner of Leaf and Vine, and I decided to go investigate it on my own. Police! Open up, police!
Come in! Come in! Good morning, sir. What can I do for you, officer?
First of all, it's 9 o'clock in the evening, and are you James S.?
I'm James S. I may help you, officer.
And is your estranged wife, Mrs. Vi S.?
My estranged wife is Mrs. Baez, but we are trying to reconcile right now to get back together.
Well, Mr. James, I don't foresee that happening since you just stabbed her 3 times with a penknife. Can I search your apartment?
Wait. What are you talking about? I've been laying on this couch all night and I haven't seen my wife in over a week.
Have you been drinking?
Well, yeah, I had a little bit of drink, but I proclaim my innocence. I haven't done anything wrong.
And does this belong to you?
Yeah, that's part of my penknife that my father gave me for a gift.
Very well, James. You can tell that to the judge, but in the meantime, I'm going to arrest you for assault and battery against your estranged wife. And if you come along calmly and peacefully, I won't have to handcuff you. And there'll be no need for any further trouble.
Okay, officer. I'm not going to give you any trouble. Trouble just seems to follow me everywhere I go, but I guess I had too much to drink because I don't remember anything about this evening.
Come along, James. Your Honor, I bring before you today the case of Dr. James S., who's been arrested for assault and battery against his estranged wife, Mrs. Baez, at the corner of 89th Street and Vine, here in our fair city.
Well, Mr. James S., welcome back. I see things are going from bad to worse for you this charge. Now, how do you plead?
Your Honor, if I may be heard during this case with all due respect.
Well, this is highly unusual, Mrs. S., especially considering you're the victim of this crime, but considering the circumstances and having had both of you here previously, I will allow it.
Your Honor, my husband is a fine fellow most of the time. However, due to his excessive use of alcohol and the depths to which he has been falling, and his desperate measures to escape the grips of his drinking, I must declare that he is totally insane. And the only remedy I see fit is a commitment to a mental institution.
Well, Mrs. S., you've stated facts clearly here, and based on your husband's previous history, I tend to agree with you wholeheartedly. And I remand the defendant to the state hospital for no less than 30 days for an evaluation.
Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye, James.
Bailiff, remove the defendant and escort him to the state hospital post haste for an evaluation.
Yes, Your Honor.
I was admitted to the state hospital, all right, but not much of an evaluation took place. As a matter of fact, you know, I do recall an intern taking some of my blood work, but I don't remember getting any results from that. Anyway, I decided that I would give my poor wife and children a break, and, well, I headed west to Seattle. When I went to Seattle, I became restless and irritable and discontent. So I only stayed there for 3 months. After that, I found myself tramping across the country until I ended up in some steel mill in Pennsylvania. I've been there for 2 weeks when I got my first paycheck, and well, that's when I decided I would call bye. Hello, Vi. How are you?
James, is that you? Where on God's green earth are you?
Yeah, it's me, Vi. It's me. I'm in Seattle. I'm in Seattle, Washington right now. How are the kids?
Children are fine. The question is, James, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Look, I want to send the baby a dress for Easter. I'm going to have it mailed in time enough for her to get it on Easter Sunday.
Yes, that's fine, James. Just make sure it's a size 2. That little girl's growing like a weed, you know.
Okay, I will. I have to go now. Bye.
Well, the children do miss their father, James. You take care now, you hear? Goodbye.
After that phone call, I became hungry and angry and lonely and tired. I just needed a place, a bar or something where I could see a friendly face or two and just wash away my sorrows. Hey, buddy. I need you to do me a favor. If you don't mind, my name is Jim.
Oh, sure, Frank. Well, what can I do you for?
Well, you see, I have a heck of a time holding on to money from my paycheck, and I'm trying to save money so I can buy my little girl a dress for Easter. So I was wondering if you don't mind if you could just hold on to it for just a week, just 1 week. If you could just hold on to it just for.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You said you just want me to hold on to it for a week. Okay, yeah, I understand. And listen, this is what I want to do. You asked me to hold on to it for a week, so I'm going to hold on to it for 1 week, and I won't give it to you, not even if you ask me.
No, even if I ask you for it, don't give it to me.
Okay. You understand?
Yeah. Thank you, Frank.
All right. I held on to Jim's money for him as a favor because I could tell he was a little down on his luck. But unfortunately, that did not last for long.
Hi, you Frank.
Hey, Jim, I bet you're here for your money, right?
I sure am. I'm headed home.
Where's home?
Washington, D.C. I cannot work in this steel mill anymore. This is not the place for me, and there's no money in it.
I could have told you that, Jim. But listen, buddy, here's your money back. I'm not gonna fight you over it since you already asked me for it 3 times already. But listen, did you ever get that dress for your little girl?
No, because I had to get a ticket to get back home. But hey, let me tell you, being such a stand-up guy, let me buy you the first round.
Hey, I can't refuse the first round, but let me get the second, okay?
Cheers.
Cheers, Jim. See you later, Jim.
I made it back home, but there wasn't much left for me there. The restaurant was gone, and I hadn't practiced medicine in a long time, so I had to work odd jobs just to get whatever drinking money I could make.
James, you're wanting down at the shop. We need someone to repair the electrical outlet.
Okay, dear. Maybe I can make some extra dollars. Get me some whiskey.
Isn't your name Jim? Jim S?
Yes, ma'am. May I ask who's asking?
I'm Ella. You don't remember me? Ella.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah, I remember now, Miss Ella.
Yeah, you remember. You remember me when I was much more slender? You remember me, huh? Oh, never mind all that. How your wife doing these days?
She's doing fine, ma'am. Thank you for inquiring.
Really? Well, I would like to speak to her for myself, if you don't mind. Here's my number and address. You make sure you have a call on me. I have something that may be of interest to her.
Okay, I'll do that.
And I also have a friend who may be of interest to you too as well, James. So I'll be calling on you as well, if you don't mind.
I look forward to it, Sally.
All right. You gonna help me, Lord. You gonna help me. Listen. Now see, I learned that when you're dealing with a new prospect, you gotta strike with the iron hot. Sure do. Mm-hmm. Hello, James.
Oh, hey, Miss Ella.
Mm-hmm. Am I bothering you, James?
Oh, no, not at all. Happy to see you.
All right. Now see, I have a friend who may be of interest to you. If you see him today. Mm-hmm. And James, might you be sober when you meet up later on today?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, I know you can.
I tried mightily, but I struggled. And what was it all for? Who was this guy that I had to be sober to meet him?
Hello, James. My name's Charlie. I'm a friend of Ella's. I have something that might be of interest.
Oh, really? And what might that be?
Well, you and I might have something in common. You see, I've been working on the railroad for many years. It's a hard job with tough men. We would always get a drink or two after work. Before you know it, I was drinking during work and sometimes even before work.
I don't understand. What does your drinking have to do with me? Why are you telling me this? I have my own trouble to worry about.
Well, the trouble I had was always due to my drinking and then I did too much of it. My wife didn't like it. Neither did my job.
Well, Charlie, I've done quite a bit of drinking myself. Lord knows I've done quite a bit of drinking, but I've never met anyone who so openly talks about it as you're doing to me right now, or even drank as much as I did. Everyone keeps telling me the same thing. Oh, Jim, you drink too much. You need to stop drinking. And I tried many a time. And I promised my wife I would stop drinking, but I couldn't. Heck, I even told my mother that I would stop drinking when I moved in with her after my wife kicked me out. All my friends, they feel the same, but they don't understand that drink, man, this stuff is more powerful than anything else.
Oh, Jimmy, I took a real licking because of that whiskey. I tell you what. But then I met someone. You know that same woman you met, Ellen? And she introduced me to some fellows who had the same trouble that I had. But they were able to beat it. They showed me how to beat it. That's why I'm here today, to help you, because, you see, I'm an alcoholic. And I can't stop drinking on my own.
Is that right? I never looked at it that way before. Maybe I could be an alcoholic too. Tell me, Charlie, how did you do it? How did you beat it?
Yes. I tell you what, Jimmy. I saw some other fellas do it, so I figured I could do it too. I went to some Alcoholics Anonymous meetings with them where we talked about what alcohol had done to us and how we had reached the bottom and we didn't think we could ever get up. But you know what? It was in those meetings that I didn't feel so alone anymore. I didn't feel so sad. And I didn't feel like the only one who couldn't stop drinking on their own. So, maybe you'd like to come down to meetings and try. Would you like to come?
Well, I sure would if it helped. It looks like it helped you, but Charlie, would they accept a fellow like me?
What do you mean?
A colored fellow. Would I be welcome in there?
Why, sure you would. I don't see why not. We all share the same problem, and all we want to do is help each other get over our alcoholism. There are no fees, there are no dues. Look, all you need is an honest desire to want to stop drinking. That's all you need. And do you have that? Do you have an honest desire to stop drinking?
After being with you, Charlie, yeah, I do. I do. You've given me something that I haven't had in a while, and that's hope.
That's good. That's good, Charlie. Now look, can you hold off on your drinking? No. Come to the meeting sober tomorrow. Can you do that? That would really, really help. But it's okay if you can't. Come anyway.
I'm not, Charlie. I'm more shaky.
I know.
But yeah, I can make it tomorrow. Sober at that meeting.
All right, attaboy. I knew you could do it, and I knew you and I had something in common. Now, look, I'll see you tomorrow at Ella's place.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Charlie.
All right.
I walked Charlie half a block down to the streetcar, and there were 2 liquor stores on each corner across the street from each other. I put Charlie on that streetcar, and I walked past those liquor stores without a second thought.
Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other to solve a common problem and to help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is an honest desire to stop drinking.
That's right. Now, I know it hasn't been easy going from here to there and place to place. Well, my poor mom try the best to help, but it's just too much for her now. We need need our own place to meet that we can call home.
Yes, yes.
Look, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Ella, and first of all, I want to thank you and your mama for letting us meet at her house from time to time. But you're absolutely right. Since we have some new members, we need a place of our own.
You know what? I can ask the minister of my church if they're willing to host some of our meetings.
Oh, that's a good idea, James. Well, I'm sure they wouldn't mind, and might even be eager to help out a group of drunks in the name of God.
All right, then it's settled. We'll look for a place to have our own meetings, and we'll get some more alcoholics who can use our help.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Charlie, but you know what? Us colored folk, we gotta be careful when we in public nowadays. It's just not safe.
I understand. I understand.
I went to my church and a few others, and although they gave me some lip service to helping out as alcoholics, none of them actually relinquished any space. As a matter of fact, the only one that said yes was the Anthony Bourne YMCA, and well, they were gracious enough to give us a room for $2 a night. Started the meetings, well, we came up with the idea of having the meetings on Friday nights, and at the beginning, it really wasn't much of a meeting at all. You see, it was just myself and 5, but we were able to convince 1 or 2 people to stay, and well, we started getting things going. After we start the ball rolling, we, the maintenance man, every now and then, he would even stick his head into the meetings when he found a new prospect, and after that, well, we just started to grow.
I got another one for you, Jim.
All right, thanks.
How's the meeting going, Jimmy?
Hey, Charlie.
How you doing?
It's going well. It's kind of small right now, but
Well, look, I tell you what, if you need any help, if you ever need any help, my friends and I are ready to lend you a hand until you get your feet on the ground.
thanks, Charlie. Thanks a lot, brother. Charlie became my sponsor, and without their help, we couldn't have gone on. You see, they even gave us financial help. Although I know the room was only $2 a night, they would usually pay for it because, well, we didn't collect enough during our meetings. I wasn't working at this particular time, and Vi was taking care of me, which gave me time to help, grow the group, which we originally called the Washington Color Group, but then we changed the name to the Cosmopolitan Group so everybody could be welcome. In the back of my mind, I just wanted to change the world. Gosh. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the good times that we had back then. Anyway, as the group began to grow, like Miss Ella said, we colored folk, we have to be careful when we go out in public. And although I didn't change the world, we were able to help those individuals who really needed it and they wanted it. Well, that's my story, and that's the story of what Alcoholics Anonymous has done for me.
Good job. Good job.
Out of cigarettes and two.
Thank you all for coming. That was the world premiere of Jim's story. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day.
Everybody.